Team USA basketball has been the creme de la creme of international basketball for over 30 years. Recently, the Redeem Team documentary over the 2008 USA basketball team has made basketball fans appreciate the determination and dedication that team had on winning the gold medal that year. The 92, 96, 2000, 08, 2012, 2016, and the most recent Team USA squad in 2021 have all went on and captured gold medals. But if you listen closely, you know I forgot to mention one year, 2004, the year the US failed to win a gold medal, not even a silver medal, but bronze, the country with the best professional basketball athletes in the world. How did the greatest basketball country fall from its grace in 2004 and lead to the Redeem Team in 2008? We have to go back a few years to the 2000 Summer Olympics to really understand what happened. The roster in 2000 featured all-NBA talent led by Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Kevin Garnett, Gary Payton, reigning two-time Defensive Player of the Year Alonzo Mourning, and two young All-Stars in Ray Allen and Allen Houston. But within that year leading up to the Summer Olympics, Kidd, Garnett, Payton, Vince, and Mourning were the only all-NBA players that accepted an invite to compete. The other 10 athletes declined. Who are those guys? Well, now, of course, each of these guys had their own reasons to withdraw, but with so many of the USA's best players opting out, this meant you weren't putting out the very best talent you could offer on the court. Team USA began those Olympics smacking China and Italy, and Vince Carter decided he wanted to take a body and added the greatest dunk we had ever seen at the time. But in their next game against Lithuania, the USA would only win that game by 9 points. The first time the US did not win more than double digits in an Olympic game since the addition of NBA athletes. And even got more spookier when they played Lithuania again in the semifinals and were a buzzer beater away from being sent home by Šarūnas Jasikevičius. Remember that name. The US went on to beat France in another close game and reclaim gold, but the USA no longer looked immortal. Fast forward 2 years later, in the 2002 FIBA World Championship, hosted in our own backyard in Indianapolis, and the US would finish in 6th place in that tournament. The first time a USA team composed of NBA players had ever lost, losing to Argentina led by Manu Ginobili, first place winners Yugoslavia led by Peja Stojakovic and Vlade Divac, and Spain led by Pau Gasol. In relation to 2000, even more players opted out in competing in that tournament, which led to the US, again, not putting out their best talent out on the court. With the underperforming performances by Team USA, this led to many NBA American athletes opting in and competing in the 2003 FIBA Americas Championship, which is a qualification process to enter the 2004 Summer Olympics in Athens the next year. This roster was led by Tim Duncan, Vince Carter, Allen Iverson, Jermaine O'Neal, Tracy McGrady, Ray Allen, and Jason Kidd, with many other star athletes in the league at that time. The US easily qualified for the 2004 Olympics, and it looked like the US was on their way back to domination. However, right before the Summer Olympics, out of the 12 guys who played on that 2003 USA team, only 3 players returned for the Summer Olympics in 2004: Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson, and Richard Jefferson. This is a big roster turnaround when you look at the players that have built chemistry and already excelled. That 2004 roster only had one All-NBA player in Tim Duncan and 2 All-Stars in Allen Iverson and Tim Duncan respectively, the lowest amount of selections on a USA basketball team. The roster was filled in with future NBA talent in LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwayne Wade, who all just finished their rookie seasons, and Amari Stoudemire, but this is long before they were in their prime succeeding in the league. Stephon Marbury was added to the team as well, who started in the backcourt alongside Iverson. Sean Marion, Lamar Odom, and Carlos Boozer filled in the remaining spots, and Emeka Okafor, who was a rookie and hadn't played a second of professional basketball, was on the USA team as well. With an average age of 23, the US were now ready to face their first opponent in Greece, Puerto Rico. Now look, this is the Olympics, the grandest stage. Yeah, the US hadn't been in top shape, but this is Puerto Rico, guys. They're not a threat to the US, right? Right?
It became personal with me.
I'm in danger!
Puerto Rico, led by former NBA point guard Carlos Arroyo, gave the US their official first loss in the Olympics since 1988. Arroyo was out there looking like unvaccinated Kyrie. Finishing with 24 points and 7 assists, Puerto Rico cruised all night, even leading by 22 at halftime. The US, on the other hand, shot 34% from the field, 12% from 3, and 62% from the free throw line. Okay, we have a problem. If you hadn't noticed already, this team did not have a reliable outside threat, and teams were exploiting that weakness in that area. Defensively, this team had no backbone or resistance. Besides Duncan and Iverson, who on the team was readily available to make an impact on offense? Luckily, this loss didn't hinder the possibility for gold for the USA. The US just needed to finish top 4 in their group of 6 of other countries to qualify for the knockout stage. The US went on to beat host country Greece by only 6, and Australia by 10. 2-1 with 2 games left in group play, the US had the unbeaten squad of Lithuania next up. Remember the guy that missed a shot to send the US home 4 years ago? I told you to remember that name. Well, he came back locked and loaded and ready for revenge. Sarunas Jasikevičius dropped 28 and 10 of his 28 points in the last 3 minutes, including a 4-point play to will his country to beat the US. Team USA didn't play bad, but missed 11 free throws that could have eventually sealed this game, which led to an unfortunate loss. But again, with the US beating Angola in their final game, Team USA advanced to the knockout stage. They just had to go 2-0 and qualify for the gold medal match. Going up against Spain that had beat them in 2002 and were unbeaten in the Olympic Games wasn't going to be an easy feat, but that team hadn't seen Stephon Marbury. Marbury led Team USA with 31 points and knocking down 6 threes, breaking both records respectively held by Charles Barkley and Reggie Miller. Marbury had only notched 21 total points in the first 5 Olympic Games, but propelled the US to see another day, eclipsing 100 points for the first time, shooting over 50% from the field and 3-point land, and showing a defensive prowess. This looked like the USA basketball team we once knew, but this high wave came to a complete stop when the USA faced Argentina in the semifinals, the same team that had beat them 2 years prior. Unlike Spain, Argentina controlled the game the entire night and stopped the US comeback from virtually happening, advancing to the gold medal match against Italy. Hall of Famer Manu Ginobili notched in 29 points on 9 of 13 shooting and 4 threes. Again, the US couldn't get into an offensive rhythm, and with their best player Tim Duncan in foul trouble all night and fouling out, it made it practically impossible to overcome the deficit. Another bad shooting night, shooting 41% from the field and knocking down only 3 threes, was the icing on the cake to Team USA's poor offense. Argentina will go on to win the gold medal match against Italy, and Italy will capture silver. And the US would capture bronze in the 3rd installment of Lithuania versus the USA in a very close game until the US pulled away in the 4th. But at that point, the damage had already been done. The gold medal was supposed to be hanging on the Americans' necks. They were supposed to be the tallest country standing on the podium. Instead, you could see the disappointment on many of their faces. The biggest elephant in the room: why did Team USA struggle so much? And I have 5 reasons why. Number 1, if you compare the performance of the 2004 Olympic team to the 2003 qualifying team and the 2000 Olympic team, you see how offensively and defensively weak this team was. America is home to many great athletes, but in basketball, great athleticism doesn't always contribute to efficiency, and the 2004 team paid for it. Number 2, this team was too young. More than half of the team had never played international basketball, which is a completely different game, especially when we're talking about the Olympics. These are professional athletes too from other countries, and they garner your respect. Number 3, style and fit. Allen Iverson was a shoot-first point guard that would look to create his own shot first. The same could be said in Stephon Marbury. Tim Duncan could play off ball, but is better suited with a point guard that could feed him the rock and put him in the best position to score. This team was missing a pure playmaking guard that could control the tempo and quarterback this team. Jason Kidd or Mike Bibby ring a bell? Well, both opted out, and their presence was greatly missed from the team. Number 4, chemistry. Along with style and fit, many players had an issue with the coaching philosophy of Larry Brown. Brown, coming off a championship with the Detroit Pistons, favored playing the older veteran players on this team than the younger generation of talent. And it didn't stop there. Many players felt that Brown was trying to enforce his style of play on the team than letting his players just play. In an interview in 2016, Emeka Okafor stated, "The team kind of came together at the last minute. Everyone's trying to cater to Coach Brown's style, which is a little bit different to what they would have wanted." Stephon Marbury has been the most vocal of the 2004 squad, expressing,
"Worst 38 days of my life playing for that man. Wait till I tell y'all the story about what he tried to do and how he tried to send me home from the Olympics. LeBron James is on the bench, Carmelo Anthony's on the bench, Lamar Odom's on the bench, Carlos Boozer's on the bench. I don't mind being on the bench. Let them play. I don't even want to play for him." We couldn't play against a zone because Larry Brown wanted us to pass the ball here, pass the ball there, then cut before we did anything. Okay, that's how you want us to play?
That to me, it was simple. They picked the wrong coach at that time. When Marbury highlighted his frustrations that he did not like how Coach Brown didn't allow the team to play with any freedom, once word got back to Larry Brown, he was so infuriated that he wanted Stephon Marbury removed from the team immediately. And to further disclaim, Richard Jefferson, who had played on the 2003 and 2004 teams, believed that because of Larry Brown's restrictive coaching methods, truth be told, that's probably why 9 guys decided that they didn't want to go to the Olympics. But lastly, and probably the biggest reason, international basketball was just better. This wasn't 1992, where other countries couldn't compete. We were 12 years removed from the Dream Team, and international players were steadily becoming threats on the court and much more lethal than once remembered. In fact, many of the athletes that led their teams in international success were great players in the NBA in that current time. And with the entire world seeing that one country didn't rule the basketball world for that year, I believe that in turn led to the influx of international players that have changed the NBA and basketball for the better. Just look at the current state of the game today. the last 3 MVPs of the NBA have come from foreign countries. The game has evolved, and we saw witness of that in 2004. Players from the 2004 Olympic squad went on to do great things. Guys went on to have legendary moments, all-star appearances, NBA championships, and Hall of Fame berths. Was the 2004 Olympic team a travesty? You can say that, but I kind of disagree. The USA's failure opened up the door to the great talent we've seen in international play. Players are now on a mission to recreate the special moment and accomplishment that Argentina captured in 2004, and some countries already have. Let's just view the 2004 team as a reminder, and if you aren't on your A game, you better hope the other team isn't. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What are your thoughts about the 2004 Olympic team that couldn't win gold? If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and be sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Be sure to turn that post notification bell on so you never miss a video. And until next time, stay on beat.